Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are exploring one of the most chilling and mysterious stories in the Bible, the fall of Lucifer. He wasn't created as a monster. He wasn't born evil. In fact, the story of Lucifer is a tragedy of the highest order. He was once one of the most glorious beings in heaven, an angel of breathtaking beauty and wisdom, standing in the very presence of God. But something twisted inside him, something dark and corrosive: pride. This is the story of how an angel of light became the prince of darkness. So, who was Lucifer before the fall? To understand his story, we have to look at passages in the books of Isaiah and Ezekiel. While these passages are addressed to human kings, many theologians see them as dual prophecies, describing not just earthly rulers but also the spiritual power behind them. Lucifer. The name Lucifer itself means light-bearer or morning star. It speaks of brilliance, of being the first to reflect the dawn. Scripture paints a stunning picture of him. He was described as full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. Imagine a being so magnificent that he was covered in every precious stone, a walking tapestry of splendor, created to dwell in the very garden of God. He wasn't just another angel in the heavenly choir. Many believe he held an incredibly higher-ranking position, possibly as the leader of worship before God's throne, his very existence a symphony of praise. He was the pinnacle of angelic creation, a masterpiece of divine artistry. But even in a perfect place like heaven, a shadow began to form. It didn't come from the outside. It grew from within Lucifer's own heart. That shadow was pride. He looked at his own beauty, his own wisdom, his own power, and began to admire the creation more than the Creator. The prophet Isaiah gives us a chilling glimpse into his internal monologue. The 5 "I will" statements that sealed his fate. He said, "I will ascend to heaven. I will raise my throne above the stars of God. I will sit on the mount of assembly in the far reaches of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will make myself like the Most High." Think about that. He didn't just want to serve God anymore. He wanted to be God. He wanted to usurp the throne of the universe. His admiration for his own gifts turned into a ravenous ambition. His beauty, which was meant to reflect God's glory, became the fuel for his rebellion. He saw himself as the source of his own light, forgetting the one who lit his flame in the first place. This was the birth of sin, not on a corrupted earth, but in the pristine environment of heaven, born from the heart of the most glorious angel. And Lucifer was not alone in his rebellion. He was charismatic, powerful, and persuasive. The Bible suggests in the book of Revelation that he waged a campaign of deception in heaven, convincing a third of the angels to join his cause. He likely promised them greater glory, more freedom, a chance to be their own gods. But what he offered was a lie wrapped in light. This led to a conflict of cosmic proportions, a great war in heaven. Michael and his loyal angels fought against the dragon, Satan, and his followers. Imagine the scene. Angels against angels, brother against brother. It was a war of loyalty against rebellion, truth against pride, order against chaos. And in this ultimate battle for the throne of heaven, Lucifer lost. The rebellion was crushed. The fall was swift and catastrophic. Jesus himself, in the Gospel of Luke, gives a first-hand account, saying, "I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven." It wasn't a slow descent. It was a sudden, violent expulsion. He was cast down, stripped of his glory, his position, and his name. No longer was he Lucifer, the light-bearer. He became Satan, a Hebrew word that means the adversary or the accuser. His very identity was redefined by his opposition to God. The fall was instantaneous, but the consequences would ripple through eternity. Not just for him, but for all of creation. Once cast out of heaven, Satan's mission became terrifyingly clear. His new purpose was born from his defeat and hatred. His goals are simple: to deceive, to accuse, and to destroy. We see this mission begin almost immediately in the biblical narrative. In the Garden of Eden, he appears in the form of a serpent. He doesn't engage in a direct fight. He uses his cunning. He twists God's words, plants seeds of doubt in Eve's mind, and tempts humanity to rebel, just as he did. He promised Adam and Eve they would be like God, the very same lie that led to his own downfall. From that moment, Satan positioned himself as the enemy of humanity, constantly working to create a chasm between people and their Creator. He is the father of lies, the tempter, the one who prowls around seeking whom he may devour. This brings us to one of the most difficult questions people ask. If God is all-powerful and all-good, why does he allow Satan to continue to exist and cause so much suffering? It's a profound question, and the Bible offers a complex answer. The key is understanding that Satan operates on a leash. He is not God's equal. He is not all-powerful, all-knowing, or sovereign. The book of Job provides a clear picture of this. Satan has to ask God for permission before he can afflict Job. This shows us that even in his rebellion, Satan remains under God's ultimate authority. God permits evil for a time, within limits, for reasons that are part of his divine plan, a plan that ultimately leads to a greater good and the final triumph of justice and love. His existence allows for genuine choice, and his evil serves to highlight the perfection of God's goodness and the depth of his redemptive love. But Lucifer's story does not end with him reigning in darkness. The Bible is very clear that his power is temporary and his defeat is certain. His fall from heaven was just the beginning of his ultimate downfall. The book of Revelation, the final book of the Bible, prophesies his end. It describes a final judgment where Satan will be thrown into the lake of fire, a place of eternal punishment prepared for him and his angels. Evil will be completely and permanently destroyed. Justice will be fully restored, and all of creation will be renewed. His rebellion, which began with the arrogant claim, "I will ascend," will end with his eternal descent. God will have the final word. So, what can we learn from this epic, tragic story? The fall of Lucifer is filled with powerful lessons for every one of us. First, it's a stark warning about the destructive power of pride. If pride could bring down the most glorious angel in heaven, how much more should we be on guard against it in our own hearts? It teaches us that power without humility inevitably leads to ruin. Second, it shows that rebellion against God, no matter how justified it may seem in our own minds, always ends in loss. You cannot fight the Creator of the universe and win. His authority can never be overthrown. If an angel, who lived in God's very presence, could fall through pride, we must constantly check our own motives and remain humble. In the end, Lucifer's fall is more than just a story about the origin of evil. It's a profound warning, a warning about where pride leads, a warning about the consequences of rebellion, a warning about the danger of forgetting who we are and who gave us everything we have, our gifts, our talents, our very breath. But it's also a story of hope. It's a reminder that no darkness is stronger than God's light. No rebellion can ever overcome his sovereign authority. And no matter how fierce the battle gets, the final victory has already been secured. Thank you for joining me for this deep dive into one of the Bible's most fascinating stories. If you found this exploration of Lucifer's fall insightful, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might be interested. We have many more dark, biblical mysteries and powerful stories coming your way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.